Hey guys, so welcome to lecture 4 part 2, and in this part we are going to do our exercise. So our exercise is going to be this amazing career site where it's like an application site, and we have our job role here. So it has a div container, which is the parent element, and then inside we have our child elements, which are a heading tag, two list tags, which makes the description. Then we have our salary range, which is another smaller heading tag. Then we have our button. So this is going to be a really fun exercise. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy building it with me. And I hope, and yeah, so let's get started. Okay, guys. To get started, I already set up our exercise.html file and our exercise.css file, and then I also have the exercise in another tab, and then our blank web page in this tab. So first we're going to start with the HTML structure like always. So shift exclamation mark, which is just the one, and enter. So we're going to rename this div and list exercise. So div and list exercise. Then we're going to link our CSS file. So I'm going to use the link because I named it exercise.css, so I'm going to do this exercise.css. Okay, so now that we got those set, let's get started. So first, as we see in our project, we need a div container. So do not worry about these alignment right now, just we need to worry about putting the elements on the web page first. So first let's create our div container. So we're going to do less than angular bracket div, and we're going to add a class of container. Then we are going to do our greater than bracket, and we're going to hit enter. So now we have our div tag. So now we're going to add our heading tag, which is the front end developer. We're going to add this. So we're going to use a heading h1 heading tag, and then we're going to do front end developer. So far it's good. So far it's good, and yeah, so far it's good, and now we're gonna add our list tag. But before this, we're gonna actually do the background color. So we're gonna go into our CSS file and do .container, and then we're gonna do curly brackets, and we're gonna use the background color property, and we're gonna do beige, since that is the color in the project, or this is the color, beige. So we're going to use do beige, and then we're going to set the display to inline block so it doesn't take up the whole page. So display inline block. Okay, that's ready. Now we are going to put our list tag. So we're going to say, I'm going to keep it up here so I know what to write. So we're going to do li, which is our list tag, and then we are going to do for this job, like it says, we're going to do for this job, you need at least 5 years of experience in HTML and CSS. So, HTML and CSS. So we're going to add a period there. Then we're going to use another li tag. We're going to add the second one. So you need a bachelor's degree in computer science. Okay, so we both got those two, and it's ready here. So, and I forgot I had a period. Silly me. Okay, so there. Now we got both our list tags ready. So now we are going to add salary. So the salary is going to use a h3 tag. So yeah, so we're going to use an h3 tag. You can use an h4 tag. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to use. So let's see what we put here. So we put $125,000. So 125,000 to 195,000. So and also quickly, this is actually what this software engineering jobs. I encourage you to actually stick with software engineering because this is a great salary range. Because software engineering jobs give you great salaries. Just saying. Okay, so anyway, we have a button. So let's just finish it with the button. So we're gonna use a button tag, and we're gonna say apply now. So I need to remember that space there. So apply now. Okay, so we got everything ready. So what we just did here is put all the elements first. This is usually what you should do is always put all the elements first, and then you style them. Or if there's too many elements, you can probably put some elements, style them, and do some elements after. That's sometimes what I do for big projects. But for small projects like this one, it's usually the best practice to put all the elements first and then style them. So now we're going to style it with exercise.css. So we're going to go to exercise.css, and then we already have our container styles from earlier. So background color beach, display inline block. So now we're going to center this. So it's not going to be perfect centering, and also the one we're going to do is not the best way to center a div. We're going to learn the best way in a later lecture in this course. And that's when we're going to learn basic flexbox in CSS, and that'll help us more efficiently style our div to the center, and it won't even leave a mark of misalignment. It's going to be like super aligned. It's going to be like almost perfectly aligned. But for now, we're not going to really worry about that stuff. We're just going to do the best we can. So we're going to use margin to do our alignment. So we're going to do margin top. And I don't have any values, I don't have any exact values here. But we're gonna estimate because CSS is all about experimenting anyway. And I think I'm gonna get you guys used to experimenting with CSS because that's really like CSS is for. You need to experiment a lot with measurements. So yeah. So we're gonna add some margin top first since we want space from the bottom, and we're gonna kind of go through the middle. We're gonna kind of aim for this spot. So we're gonna do like probably let's start with 200 pixels. Okay, so we're almost there. How about we do 250 pixels? Okay, so that didn't really do much, but how about we do 280 pixels? Okay, so that's good. I'm just gonna move it a bit down to probably 290 pixels. Okay, so that's good. So now we're going to we're gonna do margin left. We're gonna add some space from the left and kind of like center it to about here. It's not gonna be great, but we're gonna do the best we can like I said. So let's do margin left. So don't forget the hyphen in both of them. And we're gonna do some margin probably like, let's say 200 pixels. Okay, so that is that's good. That's good to start with. So let's do 250 pixels. How about that? Okay, so that settles it. So this is gonna be it. I'm gonna move it a bit down. I'm just gonna move it a bit down, so probably like 350 would be good. Okay, so that's great. That's almost pretty much good centering. So that's good alignment. So now we have aligned our div, so now we're going to style the inside elements. But first, before that, I forgot about padding. This is not good at all. We need to add some inside space, guys. So let's do that. So let's use the padding property to add inside space. Let's do 20 pixels and see how that looks. Okay, so that's pretty good. And actually, let's do a bit like probably 30 pixels just to give it more space. Okay, so there we go. So it kind of broke off a little bit of alignment, so let's edit it a bit. So actually we're gonna we're not gonna use margin left, we're gonna do the margin top. We're gonna edit this a bit, and we're gonna probably do 360 pixels. Okay, so that is good. So yeah, so that's good, and now we're going to style the inside elements now, the child elements. So now, but like we said, for div tags, we have to call the parent element, which is dot container. Now we got to do h1. So h1 and yeah, so there we go. We set up our dot container h1. So now let's go into our career. Let's go into the exercise and let's see how the h1 looks. So the h1 is kind of bigger here, and then it's also centered. So first the fastest thing we can do is center it. So we're gonna do text align center. We are gonna do text align center. So let's center that. Okay, so that's centered, and now we're gonna do a bit font size. So font size, let's do 20 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's small. I did not know about that, but let's see, 40 pixels. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, that's actually pretty much the exact same thing. That's a good job for me. That's a good job. So now we're going to we're gonna do our list tags. So our list tags, we don't want the bullet points. I might like to use list tags because for formatting, but I don't want the bullet points. If you want to keep the bullet points, you can. So dot container, and we're gonna target the li. So we can just say li and we'll just target both of them. So we're gonna first do our list style. We're gonna use the list style property. So remember, if we set this to none, it removes both bullet points, which is nice. Then we can we don't want them too close to each other, so let's add some margin between them. So margin, we're gonna probably add like 5 pixels. We don't want too much. Yeah, so that's good, and that's pretty much the same here too. Okay, so we're done with the list tags. So now we can kind of see like we're going one by one, and that's how you usually do styling. So now we're going to do the salary range. So actually there's nothing really to do for the salary range, so actually that's a good time saver. But yeah, we don't need to do much for the salary range. We really just need to do the button, and that's that's how we finish the exercise. So let's do the button. The button is actually the fun part. So let's do dot container, and we're gonna do target the button, and to make sure our button is button, it doesn't have an ID or class. So we're gonna do button dot container button, and let's do a background color of. Let's go into our exercise and see. So this set is like yellow, but it's a bit darker. So I'm pretty sure I put gold for it, so we're gonna do gold. And yes, there is a gold color. There's a gold color, surprise. So now we're going to go back and we're gonna see what we need to do next. So we need to add some spacing from the inside. So let's do padding. Exactly what padding is for. So let's do padding, and we're gonna probably do this at 12 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that looks okay, alright, but I would say this is a bit smaller, so let's do about probably 10 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so that's pretty much good. Now we can check. Let's go back and see. So now we don't have a border around it. That makes it look more stylish. So let's remove the border. So I don't remember explaining how to remove a border, but if I did, this might be a recap. But basically we use the border property, and then we use none. If we set this to none, it just removes the border, and yeah, so that's how you do that. So border and colon none. So now if we go back, we need the last thing we mostly need is a border radius. So a border radius, and that should settle the whole entire exercise. But before that, we also need to add our border radius to the div container, so let's do that after this. So we're gonna add a border radius about 12 pixels. Okay, so that looks good, but this one is not very round, so we need to probably do 10 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's a bit better, but it's still not quite there, so let's do 8 pixels. Okay, so almost there, guys. I don't know if you can see the difference, but there's a bit difference between both of them, and yeah, so we're gonna do probably like 5 pixels. How about that? Okay, so that is pretty good. Okay, so they're pretty much exactly the same, guys. So that is the button. So we settled the button. Now we need to add the border radius to the div container because we do not want straightness. So we are going to do, or actually don't even need to add another style. We can just go to our dot container styles and just add a border radius using the border radius property. Make sure I spell radius right. So border radius, we are going to add probably 10 pixels, not too shabby. Okay, so let's go back and compare. So I would say we can add a bit more, so let's do 12 pixels. How about that? Okay, so now it looks good. Yeah, it looks good. So now this last thing we need to do is we need to add a background color. So let's do body. Let's go back here and let's do body, and we're gonna do background color using the background color property. So remember, to add background colors for the whole web page, you target the body. So we're gonna do light blue. I'm pretty sure that's the color. So light blue, and yeah, so there we go. We got light blue. So now I also noticed that when we go back, it's a bit up. So I think I might have mistakenly put it to the bottom a bit too much. So we're gonna do 340 pixels. Okay, so okay, that's a bit more up. We need a bit more up. So let's do 320 pixels, see how that looks. Okay, so we gotta do 300 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna go another up again. I know it has a bit difference, but that's good. This is enough. So yeah, so that's the whole project. That's the whole exercise, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And now feel free to make it your own. Change any styles you want, and yeah, just make it your own, make it your personal. And I hope you guys enjoyed building this with me. It was a fun exercise, and I hope you guys enjoyed learning divider and list tags. So I'm gonna make a challenge here, and I'm going to actually, I want you guys to make another div tag. I want you guys to make another one about a background, about another a job you want. Like it doesn't need to be like a backend developer. It doesn't need to be anything do with tech. It can be like an artist. It can be like your whatever hobby you have. And probably you can do some research if you guys want, and you can figure out a description, a salary, and you can add the buttons and everything, all the styling you want. And then if you want, you can put it in the comments and I can see it, and probably I'll reply back and I'll give some feedback to you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next lecture where we see you in the next lecture. So, and also subscribe and like. Thank you very much for watching.